You know, it'd be interesting. What would you think about if it's interesting because like I've always thought this would be better to do, um, just recorded because I don't know, like because it's never actually happened, but I want to be very very mindful of the people who I have on. So like if it's just I'm not 100% convinced. I think it would be really cool if I did some of these live, but since you know I do encourage going a little bit deeper than just the surface. I don't know how that would, you know what I mean? Like I think having like a special live episode would be great. Um
Sure,
but
we
like
can try. I'm not sure if
oh
I
no
can
no
deliver,
no,
but
not for today. Not for today. I wouldn't want to spring it
oh,
on
okay.
you. And if I did it, I would want to definitely like hype it up, you know? I would want to advertise it on Twitter and stuff.
Oh
Um
wait, you want to do a live sometime?
that's what I'm just saying like sometime in the future. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
think it would be cool. It's weird because like I try not to have streams where like it's impossible for me to interact in chat. That's why I don't really do races that much because you're talking to someone on Discord.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's a thought.
I
You
think
know?
it's a really good idea. Like it's basically a podcast at that point,
Right.
a live podcast. But I think if you want to do that for the first time, a person like Richard again would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's very good at, or at least someone um, who's just really good on the fly. Like when when I have to do stuff like that, or like when I'm streaming, there are just huge periods where I'm like, uh, sure, I don't
Yeah.
know anything or something. But people like Richard and other streamers like him, or not streamers, they're so good at coming up at the fly with everything and being so interesting, like always. Oh, the webcam is protesting stuff.
I can't play anything. I got this for my birthday, but I can't. It's so hard. I don't,
You got an ocarina.
yeah. That was Zelda's Lullaby. I don't know if you could tell. No,
Well,
I'm
it
kidding.
didn't
I'm
really pick
kidding.
up. Oh, okay, you
I
changed
was
it.
just I was just blowing in a. Yeah,
The thing is, I
that was
thought you
Bolero.
like, I thought you like played, but you had like a noise gate on your mic or something that it
Oh,
just
maybe.
completely tuned it out.
That's probably a good thing.
I also have one.
Wait, nice, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got some cool
let's
stuff.
see. Wait, since it's Skyward Sword released today, maybe I can still play this. It's one of my
Rage.
favorite games.
Yeah, I actually might go out and get it after this since it's earlier here. Hopefully Best Buy's still open. It should be in stock. Maybe it isn't, but
I think it's probably in stock, but oh wait, I'm not sure about your specific store of PC,
yeah,
but
no, we'll see, we'll see. All right,
but did you play it on the Wii?
yes, I played it a little bit. But with both, more so actually with Skyward Sword, but also with Twilight Princess. Dude, I didn't like the Wiimote and the nunchuck. Like I,
You just not like the feel of it, or just motion controls?
the motion control. Yeah.
All right,
I
yeah.
think because I had played so much GameCube, like that was just like my blood. That's what I grew up on. It just didn't feel authentic with the Wiimote. But I would try it with the Switch because since it's got to
Yeah,
be something that's handheld for me. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm just
it's
weird, but
I did see I did watch a couple of streamers today, and the reviews are mixed on the controls. Like
yeah,
some
I
people
it's
kind
like
of like it, but
you have to like it's like you have to press the analog stick into was that for jumping or sprinting or something? Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
yeah. The thing is, the motion controls have improved a little bit, but yeah, probably not that much, I think. Uh, but the huge thing about the motion controls now is that they added an option to have free camera. So your
Ah,
right stick is now like a camera, which wasn't the case with
right.
on the Wii yet. Um, but yeah, the sad thing is for the button controls, they kind of screwed up. It's kind of bad from what I've heard because if you want to use the camera on uh, that on with just buttons, I mean, you have to hold the L button constantly. It's kind of strange.
Hmm.
So like you have to hold the shoulder button to move the camera freely. It's really weird.
Interesting.
And also your sword reacts to your right control stick, and that is a little bit janky from what I heard. Like if you want to slash, sometimes it will just move to the right instead of slashing, and vice versa and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I should get it anyway.
It's not great.
And try it, but I still have Breath of the Wild.
I mean, it's
to
a
play.
fantastic game, but like.
Yeah. All right,
What
are
is
you?
Game of Life? Oh yeah, right.
Let's get started. Because if we can just still talk about this. I just want to do the introduction. You know.
Yeah, sure. Thing.
All right.
Right.
We're here. This is taking a while,
Race
but
is done.
there's wait. Okay, everyone. Today it is Mind of Skoala. I'm so privileged to have a good friend on this show, this podcast. Yeah, hit him with the dab. He goes by many names: Pokimane Senior, the Sexy Koala, Skoala. I mean, he has been dubbed many titles over his extravagant career as a streamer, as a content creator. But yeah, how we doing today?
Oh well, dude. I'm very happy to be here.
Nice. Yeah, this should be fun. So let me just go over again how this is gonna work. So we're just gonna talk, and I will, after we're done, I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna upload it as an unlisted video, and then I'll send the video to you. Some people like to watch them before I upload them. Some people are just fine, just say, hey, I'm good with whatever we talked about. But I will obviously give you the option, and then we'll go forward. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. So if I see myself poking my nose or something.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, whatever you don't want to be in it, I will exclude. That's totally fine. So you should feel completely comfortable. There's no pressure.
Yeah, sure thing.
This is fine. You know, the dog with the fire. Nah. So yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. I definitely wanted to, usually at the start of these, we just kind of go through an introduction. So, how would you like to introduce yourself?
All right. So, as you said, I go by many names, but most of the time it's just Skoala. Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands, although most of the time I don't really say anything about that. Although I do have a Dunglish and Dutch, what do you call it, redemption? Which I don't particularly like, but it's there.
I like it.
You like it?
I always spend my points on that.
It's always so strange to me. Like, I get why the Dutch people in my chat like it, but like sometimes people just redeem it and they're like, "Ha, I couldn't understand a thing, but that was great."
That's exactly how I feel. Like, it's so worth it for me. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I mostly play Zelda on stream. Nowadays I'm playing mostly Final Fantasy, but that's more as a break, and also to test it out because I've always been very used to action things on my stream, things where I always have things to do, movement and stuff, instead of just like very cutscene heavy games with a lot of dialogue and not that much happening at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, mostly Zelda games, mostly speedruns of it. Primarily Link to the Past, but I've also dabbled around in Ocarina of Time, which we can probably talk a little bit about.
Probably, yeah. I think we could probably talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
I imagine you like the game as well.
It's okay.
Especially
yeah,
with Ganon.
It's all right. You know.
It's an okay game.
It's all right.
It's an okay game.
It's all right. What is?
But also Wind Waker and some other Zeldas. And yeah, I just fell in love with speedrunning, to be honest. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to fall in love with. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's competitive, and the community is great. You know, like
exactly.
It's just yeah, it was a no-brainer for me. I mean, what what made you really get into speedrunning? Because I have so many things that I can talk about in terms of that, but I really like hearing all speedrunners talk about how they actually got into it. So,
That's a good question. I can answer it in many ways. A very, very long story and short story and stuff. Um, Try to keep it a little bit short, but my first interest in speedrunning actually started with Ocarina of Time, and I think Super Mario 64. And the thing that happened was, as a kid, I just genuinely enjoyed playing things casually, and um, I did like getting better, but I never really looked at any resources or anything until I met a friend who goes by Ganonbird on streams. Very fitting name as well. And yeah, through him, I kind of got to know about certain tricks in Ocarina of Time, and eventually also Super Mario 64. And it was very basic stuff like infinite sword glitch, BLJs, uh, bomb hovers, and my favorite trick still of all time, Dwarf time skip in Ocarina of Time.
it's a big one.
It's the first trick that I really felt like, oh my god.
Wow, I just skipped all that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm through the
Even
door.
though I
Oh my god, I
didn't,
can just go get the sword.
yeah. Even though I was like I had no speedrunning knowledge outside of that, or even any tricks, you know. So I was like, okay, but even though I have the Master Sword now, what the hell do I do now? I don't have bombs. I don't have this. I can't do anything.
I
You
can't
know?
even go back through the door. I gotta save and reset.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly my reasoning, and it was honestly one of the funnest times because we did that with Ocarina of Time, but we also did that with Majora's Mask.
Mm.
Um, we only had a couple of tricks like ISG, bomb hovers, and well, I had dot skip. But honestly, outside of that, I didn't have much, but it was really exciting to just try out those bomb hovers and some of these tricks, just to try and see how much you can break the game. And it turns out you can actually do a lot of stuff even without very complicated tricks. Like I would use 40 bombs to Ganon's castle in the beginning, you know.
Yeah, no, but it's yeah, the game's a little bit broken. You know, you can do some stuff.
It's very
There are a
broken,
couple
yeah.
glitches you can do, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's
So
exciting.
like,
I think for most people it I don't know like there's some people who say that like they haven't been playing it for that long, but like I feel like for a lot of people it was really the nostalgia, the love for the game as a child, and then coming back as a bigger child. I can't call myself that. To play it more seriously or competitively, whatever that means, because you realize that,
definitely.
you know, if there's something that obviously if there's something that you love, it's easy to invest, right? So yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say?
All right, yeah. To add on to that, like, for me, the reason why I speedrun so many games, and the games that I specifically speedrun, it's because of nostalgia. Like, if I had to choose a speedrunning game purely based on what I think would be a very good speedrunning game, it would probably be Super Mario 64 or
Mm.
maybe Ocarina of Time MST, something like that. But yeah, Link to the Past is my favorite game of all time. So I was like, um, let's just do that game, you know? And it turns out that the speedrunning game is also quite fun, but it has its problems.
Yeah,
It's just so nice to have a reason to play it over and over again, right?
oh yeah, and I've watched you play A Link to the Past. You're really really good at it. And
Yo, thanks.
one of the one of the interesting things that I noticed, I think I don't know if it was your last PB, but I watched an entire one of your runs live, and something that was really interesting that you don't see with a ton of streamers is that throughout your entire run, not only were you playing extremely well, but you were really engaged with the chat the entire time. Like, I feel like I relate a lot to Defeat Ganon or maybe like the last 10 minutes of MST, but like when I get to collapse and defeat Ganon, I really can't talk to chat. It's just not. It's not possible. And it's a very precise glitch, and the games are different. But
Oh, definitely.
um, how do you find a way to stay lighthearted and joke around with chat and be engaged with chat while I mean like up until I mean even through like GT and Ganon like you're engaged. So how do you do that? Because I think that's a talent that a lot of streamers who speedrun are looking for.
See that as a huge compliment, so thank you.
Of course, dude.
It well, first of all, it kind of depends on the day that I'm having
Mm.
because I do have ADHD, or well, actually just ADD. So sometimes I can't even focus on chat and the game in even the most quietest parts of the run. Um, when I do have a good day, yeah, I try my best to uh, keep being engaged, but it does come at a slight cost. Um, because when I do offline runs, it has its pros, but also has its cons. Like when I stream off, when I stream offline, when I play the Link's Past offline or any speedrun game, I have a lot more focus. But that
Yeah.
also means that I have a very, very detailed perception of how I'm playing the game. So that means that I see every little mistake that I'm
Hmm.
making, and um, I think that's really good when you're at top level. But for me at the moment, it really hurts because I am at a kind of weird place in my skill level right now, I think, where I do notice the pro strats and all the clean movement and stuff. Not that I know everything, of course, but I do notice all the small things. Well, a lot of the small things that I'm doing wrong. Um, but I should just kind of take them for what they are, you know. Like I'm not at the level where they should concern me yet. And when I stream, I don't notice them as much because I'm looking at chat and just interacting with chat, and they keep my mind off things. They present different subjects to talk about. So I'm not like, okay, I need to focus at every single small thing in the game. And I do generally notice that on stream, my results are way better. They're way better. I reset way less often. Less often? Is that a thing?
Yeah, less often. That's perfect.
Oh, less often.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes my Dunglish kicks in and I don't really know for sure.
No, it's all right. I mean, I screw up English. It's a hard language, dude. It's not
It's
easy.
very hard.
I mean,
It,
yeah,
it's quite hard, honestly.
yeah. Was
Yeah,
so
it's
what was
kind of
your primary language? Is not
oh,
English.
Dutch.
Is Dutch, right?
Yeah, my
Okay.
my primary language is Dutch,
Yeah.
but yeah, most people will tell you that Dutch people are quite they're quite good at English.
I think you're
Um,
great. I mean,
thank you.
no, yeah. I mean, even I spittle is German, but I think you guys who are not from here have a are way too hard on yourselves about how well you speak English, because you guys both speak English better than people who are born in the United States. Trust me. Um,
I
some
think
people,
that's
some people. I'm not saying
yeah, yeah, some
everyone.
people.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that you guys do it very well, and I'm sure most people who, because I know a lot of German speedrunners, and they're always saying, "Oh, I'm sorry if the English isn't great," but it's perfectly fine, and I understand.
Yeah, most of the time
99%
it's
of it.
fine. It's just um yeah, it's just an accent difference most of the time.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like that's the same with Dutch people. Uh, like the Dunglish command that I have, I can do a very proper Dunglish accent, but a lot of people in the Netherlands sound like that. But at least they're like, I feel like most people in the Netherlands, at least, they know English well enough to just communicate. It
Right.
will not always sound pretty, but it's good enough most of the time.
Yeah. I think I'm like almost there with Spanish. Like I can talk to Spanish. Like I don't know. I need to practice more. But did I ever?
Same.
Have you ever heard the story about when I was in Disney World? I've told it a bunch on stream. I don't know if I've ever told you.
I have not been able to hear it yet, but that's also because I really want to watch your streams,
The
but every
time
time you
is.
stream, it's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's
no.
3 a.m.
It's. I do. It would actually make more sense in terms of my schedule to stream earlier, but I feel like people are just doing stuff, and it actually sucks because I do need to stream a little bit earlier. I want to start streaming around
Mm.
7:30 because I need to look after myself in terms of my sleep. Lately, it's gotten late. I've been going live, and it's not entirely my fault because I do coach baseball and our games are in the evening, and so when I get home, it's late, but I still want to stream. But it sucks because like the hot time for me is 10 p.m. and I'm like getting tired. I'm like thinking about ending my stream, and everyone comes in, and I'm like, well, I can't end now. So I gotta think about that because I do need to look after myself more, and late streams they're good in some ways because I think I'm somewhat alive at night, and I think other people are as well. Um, but I also think I need to be more like reasonable with my life.
I think in
and
the
how it
end,
connects.
I think in the end, your welfare is like more important.
Yeah.
Um, not just because, well, your mental state is most important in things, but like also, um, if it makes you healthier and if it makes you sleep better, um, your streams eventually will be better too. And I feel like it. Maybe I'm underestimating it, but I feel like whatever time zone you stream in, people will eventually come if at least it's consistent.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't think I've really given it enough um, enough of a test. I think I've gone live during the day sometimes and just nobody comes, and I'm like, well, I'm never doing that again. But I think really,
Mm.
if I want to, I should really give it a go and see what happens. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about it. Like, I
I
gotta
think the
think about
bigger
it.
thing in this is that it's a long-term commitment, and the fan base that you build are likely, well, if they aren't able to come at those times, they're likely going away at some point.
Yeah,
Like they'll not be able to catch it anymore, and that's very disappointing. If you liked your fan base, you know.
yeah.
Um,
I love
yeah,
them.
it
I
does
mean,
have to be
yeah,
sustainable, so
yeah,
a mixture would be best, but
yeah.
it's hard.
I used to actually do a lot of 2 streams a day. Um, maybe since I'm running a longer category now, I could do some practice during the day and then like a run at night or something, or vice versa. But yeah,
It's hard. It's
it
very
is
hard.
hard. Yeah.
Mm.
So I am expecting a call. I'm working on getting back into school. So I actually like
Oh, sick.
no, yeah. So I like actually did most of it. In fact, I already sent my transcripts and something and stuff, and so I'm just waiting. They need to tell me what like my estimate is for the program, like what classes I need to take and stuff. So they said they were gonna call me today. So um, I'm
Yeah,
just
okay,
waiting on
definitely.
that.
If you get a
But
call,
yeah, I'll let you know.
just tell me. I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's the other
What
thing.
kind of school
So
are you applying for?
it's just it's National University in San Diego, but I'm gonna do it online. And it's gonna be a
Mhm.
program in sports psychology, actually. Um,
Oh, that seems really fitting.
no, yeah, definitely.
Sick.
Um, and so it's pretty cool. Like it's one class at a time, and it's a class every 4 weeks. So I think that would be great for me because um, I think we can relate to not being comfortable being overwhelmed. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so um, I think that's good for me. So I'm excited about that. Do you want to talk a little bit about your studies? You do philosophy, right?
Oh, my studies.
Yeah, how's that
My
going?
studies have been well, um, I'm not always sure how it goes in the United States, but with us, we have high school for like 6 years.
6 years,
Um, yeah.
really?
Well,
Well, it
it
depends when
depends
you
on the
start.
level that you're taking. Sorry?
Well, it depends when you start, I guess, because we have the way we do it is like elementary school is like kindergarten to grade 4, and then fifth
Mm.
grade to 8th grade is middle school, and then high school is ninth grade to 12th grade.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. No, we have kind of the same concept, I think. At least, like our elementary school is up until 8th grade.
Oh wow.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah. And after that, we make a choice. Well, we have to take tests and stuff, and they determine which level we are going to. And depending on the level, you go to a high school. Well, you go to high school anyways. Like it's not
Right.
like you can skip it. Um, but you can go to a level that's which how do you call it? Where you take 4 years of classes, or 5 years of classes, or in my case it was 6 years of classes. And after that you can go to, well, you can quit if you want, but you can also go to like university or college or whatever you want to call it.
So how old were you when you made that decision to do either the 6 years or the 4 years?
I was 11 years old, 12 years old,
Wow.
I think.
So that's something that
I'm
I'm guessing you discussed that with your family. Most people, that's a family decision. Or did you really
well,
decide for yourself?
since it's depending on the, well, it depends on the level. So
Okay.
and you make a test, and your teachers are like,
Oh, it's more
they
of a
give advice.
recommendation. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, it's more of a recommendation,
Okay,
and
got it.
you do have to score a specific amount, I think, a specific score to get in the higher ones, or at least, yeah. I'm not really sure. Sometimes there are gray areas,
Yeah.
but at least for me, it was like I was scoring just a little bit under the highest level. So they were
I
like,
never did well on
well,
tests either. I mean, I'm not saying you
yeah.
don't do well, but me with like standardized tests, I didn't do well. So I was lucky that I was an athlete because that actually really helped me. So, but I had good grades. I just I didn't
Such a
really
huge
test well.
difference, by the way.
What's a huge difference?
The athlete thing. If I was a really good athlete, it wouldn't have helped me one bit, I think,
Really?
with school. Yeah.
Do you
At
know
least I don't think so.
do you know like how it works here?
Um, Not exactly, if I'm
So
honest.
I'll kind of explain. So our schools here are either Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3 athletics.
Mhm.
Division 1 is the best. Division 2 isn't very. It's not as big as Division 1 or Division 3. It's still pretty good. And then Division 3 is like most schools. Well, that's not true. Most smaller schools are Division 3, and most of the bigger, most
Mhm.
like the state schools, University of Oklahoma, University of Texas, University of all the state schools are D1.
All right.
So if you get recruited by a Division 1 school, they will pay for your tuition. You'll get a scholarship. So
That I've heard, yeah.
and it at that point it really doesn't matter what your grades are because they're saying we want you on the team, and we also want you to study here, but we want you on the team. For
That's so
division,
bizarre.
yeah, it's it's funny when like you contrast it with everywhere else because here it's just like yeah, that's how it works. It's been that way. Excuse me, for a while. But when you think about it, it is kind of nuts. So I was recruited to play for a Division 3 school. So the way that worked is that there's no scholarship. You're actually only allowed to get scholarships for Division 1. I don't think for Division 2, but
Mhm.
but also, so they don't pay for your tuition, but you get a good word with the admissions office, and especially if you apply early decision, which is what I did, um, you're gonna be pretty set. So yeah, I mean, I was very good at baseball. I wasn't a Division 1 athlete. There's a lot more to being Division 1. You have to be, you got to be for baseball. I mean, you got to hit the ball, 500 feet. You got to be a big guy. I'm not a big guy. I'm bigger now, but I'm only like 5'8", so um, it is
I
what it
hate
is. But
my
yeah.
European senses come tingling in.
Oh yeah, and then of course I always
I think
forget that
I think I have a sense of what that is. Let me quickly look it up. I think it's about the same height as I have.
it's like for us like
Yeah, it's about the same.
yeah, okay, cool. If we
It might
won't
be like Well, yeah, we're
Well,
about the
well,
same.
at least when we meet, neither one of us will be towering over each other. You know, that's why I'm scared to
Yeah,
meet
no,
Weather.
no, no.
Because when I meet Weather, I'm just gonna be
Is
like,
Weather tall?
oh yeah, he's like 6'4", 6'5", I think.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's where he got his name from. Because people would
Actually, he doesn't
always,
have legs because he's a streamer, but you know.
yeah, it's like streamers have legs. No, that's how he got his name from. Because I guess people would like jokingly say, "How's the weather up there?" Because he was so
That
tall.
makes sense.
It's all coming
I never
together.
knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew him. I
No,
never knew
yeah.
him like today.
I'm telling you, man, like doing these you learn a lot about people from doing like a podcast with them. Like I'm so happy that I'm doing this because like honestly like it's cool to share it with people and it's cool for people to see and have it on YouTube and like people can watch it, but like also the connections I've made from doing this like when I um when I agreed to do it with Richard, like I just saw him as the world record holder in defeat Ganon. Like I didn't know him as a person past that. And then I talked to him and like, you know, we talk a lot.
As a
Like
homie.
yeah, no, he's a homie now for sure. We talk about lifting, we talk about you know, pretty much everything. So, he's cool.
Yeah, you have a lot in common as well, right? Because obviously you have Ocarina of Time or speedrunning in general,
We
streaming,
we actually do have a lot in
lifting,
common. Yeah.
music, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. We actually both play acoustic guitar. He's a much better player than I am, but
He's pretty good.
yeah, he's very good. But yeah, now that I think about it, we do have a lot in common. He's definitely like older and more mature than I am, and he still cracks down on my immaturity sometimes, which I actually appreciate because he's I don't want to say he's like my dad because that's weird, but like I don't know, he's like a
Of
mentor
course,
to
he is
me.
like 20 years older, right? So.
Yeah, he's like 20 years older than me. So no, but he's like a huge he's a friend and he's a big mentor for me and yeah, no, we share a lot with each other, so it's cool. But you know, I feel like I like dude, the other like I literally had no idea. I realized that the other day I was a VIP in Weather's chat. And I was like, are we really that like good friends now? Like that's pretty cool.
I had
So
the same experience a little bit. I thought like, you already made me a VIP.
yeah,
Oh
no.
man,
I mean but that goes
he's
back
such
to
a cool
like
dude as well.
yeah, no, I mean there's some awesome people. Especially like
Yeah.
somebody asked me something about like the top runners in defeat or I don't know. Someone I think we're just talking about the community and like the people who are especially the people who are at the top of defeat Ganon and I can't speak for like all categories, but like most of the people who are at the top of major categories, I like I wouldn't wish anybody else to be at the top because like there's some really awesome people who are like you know in the top 5 top 10 of like defeat Ganon and they fill the roles so well like
Definitely.
they're so kind, they're so generous with their knowledge, always willing to help out. I mean, I think Danny is a huge example in the Ocarina of Time community because he is I've talked to a lot of people about this, and we've really come to the conclusion he is probably the best Ocarina of Time speedrunner ever. I mean, his resume
Really?
across the board, yeah. If you go to his, if you just search Danny B on speedrun.com, if you look at if you look at all of his placements and categories across Ocarina of Time, it'll blow your mind. It'll absolutely blow your mind. And not
Now
only
I'm
that,
curious.
but no, yeah, for sure, look it up. And not only is he just a good speedrunner, but what really solidifies it is a couple things. He's continuously, he's basically a scientist. He's like Save State. You know, they're both just always searching for new things. And I don't think glitchless unrestricted would really have happened without him. Some of the tricks that were found for that to make the route insane. And also just like if you ask a question in Discord, he's like the first person to respond. He'll always give you like a great response.
Dude, I love that so much when top runners do that.
Yeah.
Like it's. I always have that feeling like when you ask a question, you don't really want to ask it to top player.
Right.
At least not until you're somewhere near that level. That's a very uh well stupid thought I think that I'm having.
It's
Um,
not. No,
but it's
honestly,
just
it's not, because it's not stupid at all. Because I think most communities are like that. I came from a community where even players who were pretty good, we wouldn't even like think about talking to the top guys. I mean, it was forbidden, and they wouldn't give the light of day to us anyway. But here,
it's so
it's
different.
it's so different. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you can't bother someone. You don't want to do that to anyone. But like, I don't know. Like, it's just like
It
it's
also depends on the question, right?
it does depend on the question. Um, but
If you go,
I would feel comfortable talking to, or asking a question to pretty much anyone. If it's someone who I don't know at
definitely.
all, then probably not. But if I've
Yeah. Okay.
if they kind of know who I am, and like but even like I don't think Richard really knew who I was when I asked him about Mind of the Streamer, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
That's my
He's just totally down. And yeah, that's the thing. Like I feel like you. Well, even before I could ask, like when I said, "Oh, I'm running. I'm going to learn defeat Ganon." Richard, Caleb, Weather up there, Wolkie. Everyone was just like, "Oh, uh, hit me up whenever you want." I
Four
think
legends,
that's
by the way. Four
all
legends.
legends, yeah. When I went into Wolkie's stream, he was doing runs, and I was like, "Ah, man, dude, I love Ocarina of Time, but I can't get that practice ROM. Well, I did get it to work, but I didn't understand the menu and stuff. I didn't understand how save states worked. It was a lot more complicated than Link to the Past practice ROM." And he was like, "Oh, let me show you." And he just took a solid 30 minutes, I think, to just go through the whole menu and uh, show me everything. It was
Well,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
you need anything else?"
Wolke is another one of those guys where he's not. It's not like just his. He has like a 17. I think it's like I think he has a 1730 something, which is really, he's top
Yeah,
20, or I don't know if, because P Man just got a really good time. I don't know if that popped him out of it, but
yeah, he did because Wolkie wanted to, well, was considering to grind for the 1710X,
yeah,
but he didn't want to anymore. He was kind of done with the category, at least
yeah.
for now.
Uh,
Not sure if that's going to change, of course, but
He he's stated that like it's hard, it's very easy. I get it too, like with a short category, it's very easy to burn out. And
oh,
he
definitely.
he he grinded it for a very long time. Right now he's doing a lot of like he's been touring a lot now that like COVID's kind of, I guess it's getting a lot better in
Yeah.
Germany, and so he's doing a lot of stuff with music. So the IRL, he's doing more IRL stuff. I didn't want to say that right off the bat because it just sounds so weird.
Doesn't exist.
He's
It
doing
doesn't exist.
IRL. No, but yeah, but he said he might have some time to stream over. He has like a break, I guess. Um, I
Sick.
think he wants to do some MST when he comes back.
Yeah, that was the plan. But
So I can't wait till he comes back. I've seen him in some chats.
same.
He's coming to my stream, and yeah, he's just awesome. Like and what I was going to say is that like he taught me most of what I know about Defeat Ganon, and I didn't pay him for lessons or anything. Like
No,
these,
he's just extremely helpful,
yeah.
just out of himself. He's like, "Oh, homie, do you... It's like, homie, let me hook you up."
And it's really interesting how like most people, there are some people who are kind of annoying in the community, but like most people are just like are just awesome. And I can't, I'm trying
Yeah.
to find why, because it's really not the case in so many other communities. And I don't know if it's just we're all sharing the love from the nostalgia, or like Zelda's a rather peaceful game. I don't know. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of killing, but like,
Well, I think one of the things is obviously that it is competitive, but it is not really competitive to each other. Like I don't feel
that's such a
obviously
good,
if you're
yeah.
a world record holder and somebody bobs you, it's competitive towards each other, but 90% of it is not really aimed at, oh, I need to be better than this person or something, which is very different than fighting game communities, for example, where a lot of people have like a bracket demon or some sorts,
Yeah.
and it's just you're literally playing against each other, and that's I feel like that leads a little bit quicker to controversy. Even though the fighting game community that I have been in is amazing, even though it's not really a fighting game, it's Smash, but like it's
What is
up
yeah?
there.
Is the Smash community what is it like? How would you compare the Smash community to like the speedrunning
Um,
Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past?
well, the first difference is that in the Smash community, more specifically, I am in the Project M Smash community, and specifically in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Um, like obviously, also know people from other European countries, but most of it is just shared with the Netherlands. And all those journeys were like physically, so we got to see each other in person, and it's just way easier to communicate with each other, right? Whereas in the Zelda communities, I only get to see them online, especially during COVID. So that is one difference. Like it gets a little bit more personal.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the community that I was in is well, am in by the way. I'm not. I didn't get out of the community. I still love it. Um, it is really amazing. We've had our controversies. Um, yeah, it's just one big group of friends to me at least.
I feel like it's similar with speedrunning. I think there are controversies sometimes. Um,
Yeah,
you can't say that you've never seen drama on Twitter or heard about stuff, but I think for the most part it is just one big group of friends. Um,
yeah.
but
Personally, I never really saw it in Ocarina of Time, except from the older stuff. There was some stuff, but I never was in the community back then anyway. Um, yeah, and Link to the Past in the communities, there's quite well, there can be some controversy as well, but um, there as well, like most of the people that I meet there are just well, to be honest, for me personally, all the people that I met are amazing in the Link to the Past community, but there's been some well, there will always be controversies.
yeah. Um, okay, so I just want to mention this. Your camera's been freezing just a little bit every once in a while. I don't know if that's an issue that you've had before. It's not terrible. Like if it keeps going on, it's not going to be a problem. But I just didn't know if there's something you usually do to like if there's like a quick fix for it, or I just wanted to let you know. But it's
I
okay.
haven't found a fix for it. It's the annoying part is if I stream or use a recording, it never happens. But if I go on Discord call, well, apparently it happens sometime.
Don't worry about
But
it.
I haven't found a fix for it.
It's fine. All right. Let me just check how long I'm going for. How do you see how long a call is?
Not even sure if you can.
Well, we started at like 3:15, maybe a little later. Okay. All right, let's segue a little bit.
Sure thing.
Do you want to talk? What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk more about like we could talk about? I had some more questions. I wanted to talk about your music background.
Oh, sure thing.
I wanted to ask about
Sure thing.
I wanted to ask about your juggling, but
Oh, my juggling. I sometimes forget it's a thing.
yeah. So let's just talk about those two things. Yeah, for sure. So yeah,
Sure.
yeah, you're very open about being a musician. Yeah, talk about it. Go.
Yeah.
Do it.
Very long backstory.
All right.
Basically, I started out as a drummer.
Okay.
Because way back when I was like 10 or 11 years old. No, wait. Yeah, somewhere around that time. I was already kind of interested in some instruments, like the guitar and I think also djembes, like African percussion. But then my parents took me to a circus, and I didn't watch the whole show. I didn't see a single thing because there was this drummer upstairs somewhere hidden, And I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. And even though they did all these crazy tricks, I was like, oh my god, did you see the drum the whole time? And I just nagged and nagged that I wanted to become a drummer, and they were like, "Don't you want to become a guitarist instead, or like piano? Anything else, please?" I was like, nah,
Nah.
nah.
Boom, boom, smash.
So huh?
No, I don't know. Just making sound
Uh,
effects.
so eventually they were like, okay, he's never going to give up on that. So they surprised me on my birthday with an acoustic kit. I was like, oh my god! And they said like, you're also going to get lessons. I was like, oh my god! And yeah, then I started playing, and I loved it. I really loved it, and eventually I got into bands, and my music taste started to develop. Like before that, I didn't really pay attention to music. I just listened to whatever was on. Um, but back then I got really into punk rock, especially. Um,
Oh, this is something
More
we could talk
specifically,
about.
Green Day.
Okay. Mm. Yeah.
Paramore I really loved, and Foo Fighters. Actually, it was most of the mainstream rock version, if
Are
you know
you a
what I
big
mean.
fan of Dave Grohl?
Um, I still have a lot of respect for him, and I still like some Foo Fighters songs, some Nirvana songs. Um, but mostly I don't really listen to that music anymore.
Yeah.
But back then he was really like he was a big hero for me
Yeah.
since more specifically he could play it all. You know, he's like a guitarist, a singer, he's an
Absolutely.
amazing
Yeah.
drummer. I was like, oh my god, I want to become that, and I became a budget version of Dave Grohl.
It's hard to. It's I don't know. It's hard to be. That's a big thing to live up to, man.
It's hard to become a legitimate version of Dave Grohl. As
Yeah.
well.
No. I think that's pretty much impossible. But...
Yeah, he's very cool. But back then he was like a huge hero for me. I started drumming, and I started to get into bands. I really really loved it. I loved to perform, and I was also pretty good as a drummer. At least I learned very quickly, and I had kind of my own style to it, which people seem to like. Um, but I was also really interested in other instruments, and Dave Grohl kind of amplified that. So
Yeah.
eventually, I started to learn guitar and piano, and I started to get singing lessons and a violin eventually, and a
Yeah.
lot
You
of
you
stuff.
always sing my name when I come into the stream. Like thunder.
Yeah, I have to.
Woo-woo.
Back then, I didn't realize that if you divide your attention span over different instruments, um, well, it takes more time to get better at them. Like,
Yeah.
you can definitely do it, but yeah, if I had to choose now, I'm not so sure if I would have done it. Maybe I would have focused like 100% on drums and make it my profession.
Wow.
Because one thing that I noticed is because I spread out all my interests so far, uh, I've become a decent drummer and like a not really bad guitarist, and I could probably learn piano kind of quickly if I um, well, try it again. But I never got good at any of those things, and I kind of regret that.
I honestly like. I can relate to the. It's a weird feeling when I'm like I've always. I feel like this is something I've always talked to my dad about. I'm like, I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not really really good at one thing, and that's not true. I'm really really good at some things, but
I'm really good at baseball.
I was very good at baseball. But I think I've always set the bar for myself. Like maybe I didn't see myself like that because there's Major League Baseball, and I was not a professional baseball player, but I don't know. Like yeah, that's. I guess recently I haven't thought about that, like just being okay at stuff but not great at stuff. I think that was something I kind of grew out of, but it's an interesting thing to think about, right? Because I feel like maybe it's a more common thought. I mean, I think people think about it, but I think there are a lot of like little thoughts like that I've had that, as my life's gone along, it's just kind of dissipated. just realized it's not really worth my time, not really important to have that, you know.
I think it's a very common thought,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of us don't realize it when growing up, but it's very important to combat that thought, I feel. Um, yeah, personally, I really recognize what you're saying because music and in school and honestly, well, mostly those two things, I always felt like I have to make it in
Yeah.
that branch, you know. Like in school, if I were to persuade that, I thought like, okay, I have to go to university, I have to do a master's degree, I have to
Right.
learn a couple of languages, I have to learn everything and do it correctly, you know. And if I were to go to do music, I didn't think like, I should finish conservatory, maybe become a good teacher, or maybe become a semi-professional, or I don't know really. But when I thought about music and pursuing music, I thought about, okay, I need to have that same status that like Foo Fighters, or Paramore, I have to be on that
Right.
level, you know, which is extremely rare to get there and extremely hard. So whenever you hit a hurdle for that, I feel it just becomes so extremely tough to get over it because it's just so far from reality. At least in my case, it was like I always thought like, okay, I can achieve anything I want as long as I work hard enough for it. Um, but once that doesn't really work out right away, it can make you really. It can be really painful. And in my case, it yeah, really hurt a lot of my how do you call it? It really hurt my growth in the end.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think I'll just share with you. Um, so so I did get to play some baseball in college, but I went through the fall. College was when I was actually at this school. It was very difficult for me. Um, I had a lot of friends, you know, on the baseball team, but I was really homesick, and I just was struggling so much with my anxiety and my mood. Um, so like I got kind of sick in the wintertime, and then really like February, um, there was some stuff that happened, and my anxiety turned into physical stuff. And this is actually something that I'm really working on now, because I still struggle with it a lot. But like I was like wrecked mentally, physically, just from anxiety, and I had to leave. I had to leave school, and I had to basically quit playing baseball, and so
Mm-hmm.
that. I mean, absolutely devastating. I was 18, so you know I was younger, but absolutely devastating. But it's interesting to look back on it and with a different perspective, because I think when you're going through something that um, I can only think of the word devastating. When you're going through something that's that impactful, right? Something that you really love. Uh, it's just hard to have any other way of looking at it than this is terrible. Um, and
I can feel that. Yeah, devastating is the right word. I feel.
there's I think there's a lot of instances where, especially like I can think about in my life, but I think other people go through it as well, where in the present moment we have no idea how to deal with it, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes time. You know, it takes a lot of time. Um, I don't even know how we got here talking about this, but well, I guess we were talking about
Through music,
yeah,
I think.
but well, we were really talking about the I guess kind of the fear of being inadequate, right?
Yeah.
And so for a
Yeah.
while, I would like watch baseball on TV, and I would get upset at it, because these guys were having the time of their lives, you know, making like you know playing the MLB, being professional, I was thought, like, if I didn't have my own stuff holding me back, like, where would I be? And I guess now, and I still really struggle with this, but I think I'm conscious enough to accept that that's just an invalid thought to have.
Yeah.
You know, when things happen to you, especially when you know that they're out of your control, maybe they're things that you can work on fixing in the future, but at the time for you, they were out of your control. Um, it's just unwise to feel regret, and I think it takes a while to heal, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think we're given a certain set of tools, and we can work on improving those tools, or you know, letting some of them go if they're not helpful for us. But that does take time, and we have to acknowledge that. I think we get put on a certain path. We got to make the best out of the continuously developing path that develops for us.
Definitely.
I know that got super philosophical, but maybe as a philosophy student, you can if you want
Well,
to add
maybe
to
not
that.
necessarily as a philosophy student, but as a person,
Sure.
I can really relate because yeah, I can definitely I have struggled with that as well a lot. Um, like I've been depressed since 2000, well, the end of 2014 ish, and I've been really really depressed. Like I had a lot of days where I was like, I would just wake up and I wouldn't get out of bed until like 8 p.m. Where I would really think like, okay, I really need to get some food. I really need to get to shower to take care of myself, which um, is not really like it's a bit gross, but it didn't really.
No,
I couldn't always do that.
no, I actually
So
completely understand. Um, yeah, during like yeah, no, it's well, you don't really see the purpose of things, and also it's just hard to do. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's just really difficult to do simple things. Um,
absolutely,
I
it's
don't like.
so
I'll find myself saying I can't do certain things to like my parents or whatever, and they're like, "What do you mean?" Like, and
yeah, yeah.
um, it's hard to explain, but like, yeah, like for like one of the big things for me that I've been struggling with, and I've been little by little trying to do better at it, is exercising. And this was something that was a huge part of my life. I used to compete in powerlifting. When I was in high school, I lifted for like 4 hours a day. It was nuts, and I was really into it. But like more recently, when I pick up a weight, I'm just like, this just feels like work. I'm just tired. Why even bother? Um,
Mhm.
so I do really understand, maybe not to the extent, but I do get the source of just not even being able to do simple things.
Things that are commonly thought like you
Yeah,
just do them,
and
right?
and hygiene ends up being a big one. The depression can really affect. So
Yeah, especially if you don't really. There were times that I wasn't really tempted to go outside,
yeah, same.
which only made it worse, honestly. But like, yeah, it was just of those days that you were like, I can't really get up. I don't really have a purpose, and it's just really hard. And the more you stay in that bubble, the worse it becomes, right? Um, because when I went outside, and I hated this, but when I went outside, I always felt better, like just
Isn't it?
going well.
And isn't that weird though? Because you hated that you felt better, and that's actually a thought. No, but it's serious, because you're the first person I've actually been able to connect to that with, because that is a big, um, that's a big thing that I'm working on right now with my therapist. Is what is holding me back from allowing myself to feel better. Um, and there are certain things that I do try to do, but it's hard, right? There's like, it feels like there's something pulling back, and like, even if you can't
Definitely, yeah.
consciously think of what are the cons of going outside and going for a walk, not really anything, right? It's gonna make you feel better. Okay, maybe you'll get a little bit tired, and like sweaty or whatever, depending on how hot it is.
For me personally, I had different problems with that, but that's that's something different.
Okay, well
But
maybe there's another
definitely.
example of something that will just help
But
you.
definitely just going outside, however, whatever way.
Sure.
Like,
Um,
I knew it would always make me feel better, but
but there's
still, you're
something,
like,
right? There's
it's
just
so hard.
something.
Yeah,
Um, so I find that really
it's hard to
interesting,
get yourself moving.
and
I feel like
we can continue our conversation about that for sure. You know, after this or whatever, because I would love to have someone to relate to about stuff like that because um, you also just feel alone, man. When you're depressed, you just feel alone, right? I mean, it's I don't
yeah,
know.
it
I
was
think
weird. Like,
yeah,
I always had a very strong friend circle, and the thing is, when I feel bad, I really, really start isolating myself.
I do the
And when
same.
I still lived on my own, I could succeed at that very well because nobody could really come in unless I let them in. So I would just not look at my phone. Well, I looked at my phone for hours, but I would not look at my social media, for example. I would kind of like, uh, I wouldn't take initiative in anything anymore. And yeah, I'm not sure what I was trying to say.
No, I
Like
totally
isolating
understand
is a
what you're
real
trying to
thing.
say because um, yeah. So yeah, I definitely isolate. And when I used to have an apartment by myself, and oh, it was so easy. It was so easy
Yeah,
to just feed that, and then that's where a lot of my issues with weed and with booze came in because I was bored. You know, I was bored. Why not? Why not get high? Why not get super drunk? Um,
yeah,
and
I
it
can imagine that.
took me a while to realize why I shouldn't do that. Because I was really hurting myself for a while. But yeah, I think I think from my own experience, substance is just it just seems like such a great answer. If you have all these problems, if you're alone, yeah,
Definitely.
just drink.
Honestly,
You know,
everything that can get you like can get your mind off things.
right?
Personally, I always stayed away from booze and weed and drugs in general, but that's more because I always knew that I have a knack for addiction, if that makes sense.
Wow, we have a
Like
lot in common.
I always kind of figure like if I start with something like that, it can very easily ruin my life personally.
Yeah,
Like even with something that you can do harmlessly.
yeah.
Um,
Um, I've I have an addictive personality, and I don't. It's funny because I've always searched for why there hasn't really been addiction in my family. Um, the only thing I've been able to like grasp onto is that um, I'm a little bit Native American, and there's some like genes where there was a very high percentage of alcoholism in like Native American tribes, um, but like I can't blame other stuff. You know, it's like when I think about that now, it's just weird. It's not. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm you know addicted because of this because like this other thing. It's totally not my fault. And like I don't know. I don't want to get super into like the philosophy behind addiction and like who's like if you're powerless or whatever like I don't know but like yeah it just feels like yeah I made a lot of stupid decisions and like I'm accountable for
there are
that.
a lot of things, honestly, that can be extremely addicting, and that's everywhere. Honestly, I have like I'm not addicted to booze or drugs, but I am very addicted to gaming, for example, or food, like
Yeah.
sugary foods and stuff. I made the decision to just never like I do the groceries most of the time here now. I just made the decision to never buy uh, anything related to candy
Mm.
or cookies or uh, chips or is it called crisp
Cutting
or
out
chips?
junk food is a big step to that, like just not having chips or candy, especially candy. I
Yeah.
feel like um I
The
like
thing with those
yeah,
things is I just didn't have a limit with that.
right.
Like I knew I felt the best when I just take one. Uh, no one in my family except my mother, I think. Well, my mother also with some things, but we just don't do well with taking one cookie
Yeah, how
or
do you
like
just have
one chip
one
or
Kit Kat, you know? It's like, when there's
yeah.
a bag on the table, it's like, I'll just
It's
have
definitely a
one.
common problem among a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I have that pretty severely, and sometimes it just went really out of control. Even though I don't do that bad when I just don't buy it altogether. So eventually I made the decision like, let's just not tempt myself. Um, but I do notice that when I travel, for example, and I come along snack stores or something, I feel like I need to get something, even when I'm not hungry or
Right. Do
it's very
you
hard.
do you feel like because you mentioned gaming in with that?
Mhm.
I think what may be slightly different is, do you feel like gaming and streaming though and speedrunning may also have a pretty significant positive side to it? And I suppose you can say that about anything, right? Candy is tasty. Getting high or getting drunk makes you feel good. But for me personally, and it may be different for you, um, I I feel like streaming really helps me. I think I might be different because I definitely don't feel addicted to gaming, but when I stream and I'm talking to people, that really helps my mood. Being
Mm.
interactive and laughing and smiling, those are things that I do not do a lot during my normal day. So when I get to be myself and bounce off of chat and talk to my friends, like, it's awesome. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't know. What do you think about that? How does that apply to like your own personal struggles and
I have a lot of
gaming?
thoughts about that. I think me, speedrunning and streaming are very related, and I think the day that I stop streaming for whatever reason, I will probably immediately stop speedrunning. Um, Maybe not. It depends on how involved I still am with the communities. But at the very least, speedrunning is a tool for my streaming, and I really love speedrunning. Um, but on its own, I would have probably never really gotten that much into it as I am now. Even though offline, I practice a lot of speedrunning things. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah. With streaming, I really feel like okay. This is just really nice. It's a very fun hobby, and I just want to do something that I find fun. And um, besides speedrunning, I really want to do juggling in the future more often and
Yes,
music.
I want
But
to
it's
see
just
it. Do we have
wait,
anything
hold up.
readily available?
Yeah, one sec. Um,
Yes.
this is the problem though. I have no space here. But
Just
oh,
just just tip over your whatever's behind you. Let's
can
go.
you see it a little bit?
Focus.
It was a little bit.
Oh my god, that was awesome. Thank you.
No, thanks. I really love juggling,
That
but
was what do you
I haven't picked it up.
what is some of the stuff you have behind you as your background scenery?
Oh, um, well, my most precious
Pikachu.
possession is a Pikachu mug.
Ah, it's
Has these
beautiful.
little ears.
Yes.
It's it's beautiful. Um, most of the things are little instruments. So like I
Oh,
have
okay.
this little
I was wondering what that is.
drum.
Oh, it's
There's
a
another
drum.
drum on top of that. Uh,
Oh,
like you can see it in
nice.
the background.
Yeah.
There's this Zelda bottle.
Oh,
If
that's
you
like
can see it.
that's like the bottle you get at the bottom of the lake with the letter in it. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, it's
I think
so
this was
real.
the. I think this might be the Skyward Sword replica, but I'm not
Oh,
sure.
maybe. Dude, the ooh energy right now is real. Oh my
It
god.
actually gives light, but the batteries are empty, unfortunately.
Oh man,
Um,
that's so cool though.
let's see. There are a lot of instruments here as well. Um,
That's so cool.
like this, for example, it's a doggo, but let's see.
It's a dog ocarina.
Yeah, you have like these little
Maracas.
shakers. Uh, Also a flute, I think.
Wow.
Another flute. Although not really sure how to play this one. Oh, Oh, this one is pretty cool. You wouldn't have guessed it, but this is also a flute.
Whoa.
This thing, you can play. How do I play it again, though? Like this, I think?
Nice. It's awesome.
I haven't really spent time to properly learn them. So.
It's nice to like
Yeah, I
surround...
have a lot of flutes.
Yeah. Wow. It's nice to surround yourself with things that like make you comfortable and things that you're like passionate about, but also is kind of just cool. Like honestly, I don't know where it is, but usually I always have a baseball around because
That's really nice.
it just makes me feel comfortable. And actually, when I would be really anxious about school, I would actually bring one to class and just kind of have it in my hand, you know, or have it on the table, and it would help a
Just
lot.
relax.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a lot of cool stuff in your room too, like that lava lamp. You
Yeah,
have the
there's-
heart lamp from Zelda.
There's some cool stuff. I'm not gonna show everything because it's really messy. Other than
No problem.
but
no problem.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I have some posters. I have
Roll
like
poster.
I have all my like my game balls and my baseball stuff, my awards and trophies, to the left of my setup. I have some Lego stuff, and then I have a bunch of stuffed animals.
also
Actually,
really cool.
yeah. Well, I got we got a couple things right here. Here's Grogu.
It's the Baby Yoda. I
yeah.
have the emote.
And then
I think.
I actually I need to get that one. And I got the Infinity Gauntlet too. You know, from Avengers.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, Thanos.
I know. Don't snap. Don't snap.
Me and Spittle had a good time with that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh shit."
Mr. Stark.
I know. So,
One other thing I want to talk to you about was I went over like your bio on your Twitch before we did this, and I didn't realize that you had played Lego Racers before. That game.
Oh, that was not the thing that I expected you to notice.
No.
But yeah, that's true. I love Lego Racers.
Because
it
that
was one
was-
of my favorite games.
That was one of the very, very first games I think I ever played.
Really?
Yes. Now, are we talking about the same one? Are we talking about the one with like trying to think, some of the bosses were like Sam Sanister and Berg. Do you go to like the different planets, or maybe I'm thinking about a different version of the game, like Lego Racers 2 or something. I don't know. Maybe
No,
it's a
I
different
think
game.
you might have played it on the N64.
No, it was PC.
Yeah, it's
This
also
was
on the PC.
This was
but,
back in like probably like 2000, 2001.
I have the perfect question to see if you played it.
Okay.
Were boosters OP? Like there's teleporting boosters.
Remind
Like,
me more about what the boosters are.
Wait, I can show you a screenshot.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% confident that we played the same. Okay, wait.
Were
I
there
can
like
copy
little
this image.
tornadoes that you could get sucked into? Cause
Yeah, that too.
I was really.
this the game?
I think so. That looks like
think
the
it's
jungle.
probably-
That looks like racing Sam Sanister because that's like the jungle island.
Yeah, sorry, Samson. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the same
we
game.
are talking about the same game.
So
I actually thought about speedrunning this game. for a
I
little
wanna run it, dude. I wanna run it so bad.
Really?
I don't know where I can get. I haven't really like consciously looked for it, but I doubt it's on Steam. But it's got to be easy to get because it's an old game.
bit.
We should
I
run it
wouldn't be
together.
100% sure about it.
We should race it.
We should definitely race, but it's not as easy as you think. Because before I had a capture card, I wanted to play this game, right? And I do own it on the N64. It works fine, but yeah, I tried to like emulate it because
Yeah.
it wasn't on Steam,
Yeah.
and it's really, really janky.
Okay.
For speedrunning, it wouldn't work, I think. But
Well-
maybe there are other ways to do it.
I could get a
Um,
cartridge. I have an N64, so
Yeah, but the problem on the N64 is, as you well know is that the control stick sucks.
Yeah, it's
It
much
gets
easier
broken
with a
really
mouse and
easily.
keyboard. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe I still have the game for PC. I may still have it.
that would be awesome if you still
Um,
have it. And there are also probably other ways to get it
I'm
running
gonna look
even
into
outside
that.
of N64.
Yeah,
Eventually I decided not to run it, but there was a time where I thought like that would be pretty dope.
yeah, for sure.
The game is really, it's yeah. I always really loved it as a kid, and I still do. It's like it's very janky as a game, but it just works. It's great.
Yeah, it was literally one of the first games I played, and yeah, I guess I think on the main island there were these tornadoes you could get sucked into for like maybe like there were mini games. I was really scared of them.
Oh, I think we might be talking about a different game then.
Maybe.
Are you talking about Lego Islands?
No,
Or
no, 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 no. It
not
was
Lego
Lego
Island?
Racers.
Because there's also a Lego Races 2. You might have played that one instead.
Maybe.
Um, Maybe this makes more sense to you. Copy image. I am very good with computers. Yes.
This is it.
Does this look more?
This is the game I
Oh,
played.
okay, no, we didn't play the same game then.
Hmm.
I literally know nothing about this game. Sorry.
Yeah. So in this game, you would basically you did some stuff on the main island, and then you went to like Mars. You went to the other island with Sam Sinister. I think was the boss on Mars Berg. I don't know, but and then eventually you would race at like this big stadium. It's like the final stage.
It sounds really cool.
It's really cool, and I'm gonna try my best to find it and speedrun it because
It would be fun.
yeah,
That would
nostalgia.
be fun.
I mean, it's whatever.
I do also recommend the Lego Racers one though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a really fun game.
Damn,
But it's quite different, I feel.
I got some games on the queue that not on the
Yeah,
IQ,
same.
not on the IQ, just the queue.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else?
What's
You wanna...
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, about the speedrunning thing.
Okay.
There is one thing that I feel like it also accomplishes. Like we were talking about the bad things about it. when
Right.
you
So
get too addicted and stuff.
the good takeaways from speedrunning. Yep.
Yeah. The thing that I really notice is it gives you a very, very straightforward goal. Like you can say, in this game, I want to get, well, let's take Ocarina of Time for example.
Yeah. So what? How about
defeat
what are your
Ganon.
goals? What are your goals right now? I guess
Oh,
I kind of know, but for the viewers.
my goals are, well, at the moment my controller broke, my SNES controller, so I have to wait before I can play Link to the Past again. But in Link to the Past, my goal is to get a 125, which is it's quite good.
That's
And it's
more
quite
than
far
quite
from
good.
my
What is record? Is
Yeah,
what
it's really good.
122 or 121? 122, right?
Sorry?
Record is
Ooh.
what, like 120? I know that's not a good
world
comparison, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, world record at the moment is 123.03.
123?
Which is an insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an insane time. But the world record holder at the moment, he's still playing the game and he's grinding for 122, and he's been on pace so many times. But Link to the Past is a very brutal game in terms of RNG, but also
Yeah.
just execution. It's very tough to compete at that level. But yeah, I want to get somewhere at the 125 to be like a top runner, but not. I don't think world record is something that I would want to grind for. Maybe not even top 10.
What is your time right now?
The time right now is a 128.22, so that's still like pretty far away.
But is that not insane in and of itself? Come on, that's really good.
I'm really happy with the time. I'm not gonna lie. But that's mostly like it's not because I see like, oh, I'm almost top 100 on the ranking, but it's more like I put so much time into it and I've seen the progress. Like I went from a 144 to a 128,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
that's
just
that's
really nice
important.
to see.
It's important not to because it's important not to in anything, right? Compare yourself to other people. Like justify how good your run is based on how good others are. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And it's hard when there's a leaderboard. We're always going to look at the leaderboard. But right, if you are proud of you know, how far you've come, what you should be. Um, yeah, like that's all you need. Like, it's insane,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of people, a lot of my friends actually, they were like, "Ah, speedrunning seems pretty cool, but there's no way that I would ever get world record
that's not the
or
point, though.
even get close." But I'm like, yeah, but that's totally not the point. If you want to go for a world record, then it's different. But nobody should. Well, I'm not saying like you should have that as an end goal. You can always say like, "This looks amazing. I want to get
Depends
world
on who
record
you are.
eventually."
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's a very important thing that I learned in life eventually is to have sub goals, realistic
right.
goals, estimated on time and energy, and yeah, just having realistic goals, which has been my problem in life in general, like in music, in school. I was always like, okay, from now on, I'm just going to grind so incredibly hard that I'm going to get well straight A's on my grades, for example, even though I'm way under that at the
Right.
moment or something.
Right.
It would be better to say like, okay, I'm going to start studying every day for like half an hour, and get really disciplined and just improve little by little and have realistic goals. And I feel like in speedrunning, I really learned that um, because it doesn't help me to say, well, to take defeat Ganon for example, again, it wouldn't help me to say like, okay, I want to get the 1640, I want to get world record. Um, so from now on I'm going to do this and that. No, it would help me way more to say like, okay, right now I'm at a 20, am I again?
A
I think
2045
2022,
or something. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
maybe something around that. Like I was
20
close to the sub
20x
20.
20x.
It would help me way more to say like, okay, if I really want to take it seriously, I can start practicing every day for like half an hour. See which tricks are hard to nail for me, which segments are pretty hard, what needs my time, and I can start with these and these strats. And eventually, when I get comfortable with those, I can switch around those strats one by one. Like for now, I I use buffers for a lot of tricks, for example. And if I would get a sub 18 eventually or something, I would switch that up. And there are so many things that you can improve little by little over
I
time.
100% believe that you'd be able to improve pretty quickly in Defeat Ganon because the time that you're at is there's it's a very like you're starting to learn really good strats. But I feel like for me that was a time when I was starting to learn the faster strats, but I'd yet to really unlock doing them fast. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, um,
For me, the consistency was the problem.
yeah,
Um,
it
and
does
that's
help
a
being
common
consistent.
thing.
It does help.
Yeah, I feel it's like it's a very common thing for Defeat Ganon specifically, especially with the strats that we're both using. I feel like we're mostly using the same strats, although I'm probably buffering a lot more. Um, but yeah, I was immediately like, okay, I just want to do this the way that I want to eventually run this run.
Yeah,
Mostly, like I'm not going to do Instaclip, for example, or Waterfall West from the start. But I did start with get item manipulation from the start. I didn't. I wanted nothing to do with the cuckoos because I hated that strat. I always hated that. Um,
most people do.
that took a lot of time to learn.
Yeah, game is hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, but that whole run, like first you have to nail Gim, and it's not like the early game is that easy or something. You can get fucked pretty easily.
No.
Um, like you have Gim, then you have Wrong Warp, which I wasn't really confident in all setups, which is something that I would grind now.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Void Warp, which was my ultimate bane. Like I think I have PBs where I had like a 5 minutes loss there or something.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like, you know, there's a big difference between taking 3 minutes at Void Warp versus like getting the first rock and nailing it. Like you can save so
Oh,
much time. You
definitely.
know what I mean?
It's so much time, yeah.
But yeah, Void Warp for me is the hardest trick in Defeat Ganon
Yeah.
so far. I mean, when I learned, yeah, I mean, Insta and Waterfall West are gonna be tough, but
Yeah, I'm
Baba
not even
has,
sure
you
if
know.
I ever want to get to that level. Like maybe I want to learn it, but I never really want to get at a point I
I'm at
think
the
where I
same
need to
place.
apply it.
I'm at the same place.
Yeah.
I think I
Well,
was
you never knew in the end.
no. I mean, right, exactly. But like, I don't know. It's something I think about a lot. Um, but I think like I'm on the verge. Like I kind of want to go for it. Obviously, like it's good for me to take a break and do something else for a little bit, and then come
I think that's
back
good.
after
Yeah.
I decide what I really want to do. Um,
Taking
but
a
yeah.
break from your speedrunning game can be OP.
With
Even though
that,
you're not taking a break from the game, but
with that being said, it does not feel like much of a break because I've been going hard learning GSR. It's so much information, dude. My first run took me 3 hours, and there are tricks spread across that entire time, so it's like it's a lot
can
compared to 20
definitely,
minutes. It's a lot
I
to
can definitely
remember.
feel that. Like I went, Link to the Past was not actually my first game that I learned to speedrun. That was Pokemon Puzzle League actually, but it was my first very serious game that I started speedrunning. I started learning how to speedrun it after I already spent dozens of hours into the randomizer, which also
Mm,
uses some speedrun strats.
right, exactly.
Um, and I was really familiar with the game, so it was not like I had to learn very new things. But then I went to defeat Ganon, which was a short category, which was really hard because the tricks are just really hard. But after that, I went to Wind Waker for a while, Wind Waker HD, which is a completely different game. I was like, um, I didn't remember the game that well, but the category is quite large, even the any percent category, and it's full of tricks. So it's like, okay, I'm like 10 minutes in and I have to learn another trick again. Cool.
Yeah, I
It's
would
so much
love,
information.
I
It's
would
so
love
hard.
to learn Wind Waker. Um, it's for me, yeah, Wind Waker is a beautiful game for me. Like I really like everything
Definitely.
about it. I like the graphics. I like the animation. I also really like the story, and then I love the music as well. Um,
Same.
Mechanics are
Love it.
really interesting. I like that it's different. But yeah, it provides a real different feel for me from Ocarina of Time as opposed to like Majora's Mask, where the engine is like kind of the same. There are differences, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, the speedruns are very similar in a lot of ways. And the art style is, well, maybe not the art style specifically, but the engine makes it very
right?
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Personally, I just really want to learn every Zelda game eventually. Or like almost every.
I've always thought about like I feel like I would feel really good if I just beat every Zelda game. If I beat every game. Um, I don't know. I think that would like solidify my fandom, or I don't know.
Same.
I've always thought about that, but like I don't know.
I have the same feeling, but it's kind of hard for me. Like I never
Yeah.
owned a DS.
Yeah, right.
I never owned a DS or a 3DS, so there's so many games where I'm like, how in the world am I going to play that?
Right, yeah. Maybe excuse me. Maybe I would skip the DS games, but I don't know.
Yeah, just go for the main console games, even though the DS games are fantastic.
All right, I'm getting
Some
kind
of
of tired. I'm sorry.
them.
But if is there anything else that you feel like we really need to cover?
Well, to finish up the speedrunning thing,
Yeah.
the only thing that I really want to say about that is because it has such a straightforward goal, and you see your improvements so fast, it can be a really good learning tool in life as well. And that may sound a little bit nerdy,
No,
but
it
like
doesn't.
it really teaches you the fundamentals. I feel to improve at something.
Yes.
Um, because you have to set a realistic goal. Um, you have to set a you have to be disciplined in your regimen. Like you have to say like, okay, I have to practice like often,
Right.
and it rewards hard work. Like the more work you put into it, the more it rewards you. But also, if you put too much work into it, you get burnout.
Right.
And
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, it makes some things just really clear. I feel.
Yeah, for sure. I think speedrunning's taught me a lot. Not gonna lie. Like, yeah, yeah. It teaches you how to like achieve a goal and put in the work for something. And yeah, I think I think it's something you gotta learn how to, you know, right, like you said, it's important not to burn out, and it's important to learn how to not burn out and to do it in a way that keeps you healthy, right?
Yeah, do it the proper way, and also surround yourself with people who share the same goals or
Yeah, absolutely.
already are there. Like, you learn so much just from talking to players who already achieved the things that you're still going for, right?
For sure.
And the weird thing about it is, I never did that with music or cool stuff or other things, but I immediately did that for speedrunning. I was like, oh, I need to do this to improve.
It's also very like readily available. Like Discord is just it's just there. You know, you can just ask a question and it gets answered. And then it gets more difficult with other things. It's probably more difficult with music.
I mean, with music, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm in a couple of Discords who has people that are just very, very happy to help. But it is, I feel it's a little bit harder to do than in a very specific game.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed my my poster, by Dave Grohl.
Yeah, I noticed.
I just realized that.
Love it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about moving it though. What?
What is the poster on the door, by the way, of the puck?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you in Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think you're gonna like this. I just saw your message. TY.
My crimes went unnoticed.
There you go.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I need a hug.
Love it.
All right.
This is something you want to talk about.
Is there anything I want to talk about?
I'm still enjoying the Kirby in the background.
Yeah, he's just chilling, you know. I went to Best Buy to get a Switch one day. I did eventually get the Switch, but I had to order it, and they were out of stock. And I was like, you know, I like the Skoala angry emote, you know. I was like, and then like,
angry emote.
Yeah, what isn't that? It's FFZ, right?
Oh yeah, the angry Pikachu.
No, there's well, yes, but there's also isn't there one of you, like being angry?
Of me. I do have the whatever emote, but that's not on. What FFZ emote do I have? I can look real quick if you want.
I thought. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can totally look it up real quick. Skoala angry emote.
I thought it was.
Oh wait, yeah, it's literally of my face, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking of my like my mascot.
No.
No, I have yeah. Oh, that picture is horrible.
I love it, but yeah, I was
the original picture. Oh.
I was like, oh, Skoala angry, and then I looked to like the right, and they had a bunch of plush stuff like next to the Switch stuff, and I just saw that down there, and I was like, Peepo hug.
I need it.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
No, I don't have too much. I feel like I need to talk about. I feel like we covered a lot of the speedrunning stuff, and then we talked also about you know, mental health and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like it was good.
Yeah, I feel like we had a good talk.
I'm gonna enjoy looking this back and editing it. So I'll just do like a conclusion for the end of the video.
Right.
Well, Skoala, it was dude, it was so nice to talk to you. This was I'm glad we finally were able to do this.
Yeah, it took a long time, but we finally found the moment.
It did take a while. That's my fault. But yeah, this is awesome. I do hope eventually that we can do this again. You know, when that time comes. And
Good thing.
Yeah, this was awesome. So I feel like we talked about a lot of good stuff. So thank you so much for doing this with me. I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you. It was a really good conversation, and honestly, you're just a joy to have in the community.
Oh, I appreciate that.
In general.
So are you.
Always,
yeah, so are you. Absolutely. No, it's
always with the uwu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always coming in with my exclamation point uwu. You know, that's That's what I'm here for. You know, what would you do without me? So
Exactly.
yeah, thank you.